Let's go! Are you kidding me? This 2021 recruiting summit for LSU? It is a big deal. Yes, this was cool. It was led by Garrett Nussmeier, the kid from Texas who has heavy ties to Louisiana. This 2021 quarterback commit looks fantastic on tape, and you had double-digit top 150 players in Baton Rouge on their own. Like, the coaches couldn't even meet with the kids. This was their own doing. And we could get down into the recruiting compliance minutia, but let me just say this. It's a pandemic, for goodness sakes. NCAA, these kids risked health to come visit Baton Rouge. You could have, made a waiver for coaches like Ed Orgeron to at least go see these kids and welcome them to Baton Rouge. I mean, come on. Where's your manners, NCAA? It's wild because the 2021 class is pretty full already. Now, they could have had an extra slot, but they just gave it away to the DB transfer from Nichols, Darren Evans. So, yeah, that takes away one slot from this upcoming class. There are 7 slots remaining. Well, if you've watched my recent videos, you've learned something, that individual recruits don't necessarily matter. In college football, it's about what you do as a whole. How do you do year to year? And anything that LSU gets from this point forward is icing on top because they already have a top 5 recruiting class. And I know there's other schools in the SEC West in that top 10, including Alabama. But as of right now, LSU in this class already has a national championship level class. This was a very interesting comment from my boy Plum. He's been with us for a while. By the way, let's get this thing to 400 subscribers. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Share this video with all your friends. Let's do it. All these defensive ends are committed to LSU. As of right now, there are 5. And this comes a year after LSU basically brought in a few, like a BJ Ojolari and a Phillip Webb. And it seems like LSU is overloading this position. And we all know how much Ed Orgeron loves his defensive ends. But 5 with Korey Foreman, the number 1 defensive end overall, who just visited the campus, the number 1 player in the country, that would give LSU 6. Aren't there other positions of need? Well, yeah, I mean, there's always positions of need in college football with the way kids transfer, and yeah, we get that. Now, if this is your first video and you've never watched any of our content, well, our last video kind of blends into this video. There is a reason why LSU has been recruiting defensive ends like crazy. Because it's a position with a lot of uncertainty. Now, in the 3-4 and the 4-3, we could talk about defensive schematics all you want, but each and every school across the country is becoming more passing-oriented. You just look at all the hires that have happened in the SEC West. Mike Leach, Lane Kiffin. We see what Alabama's doing now. Auburn. They're spreading everyone out and throwing the football. And the hardest position in football to play in the modern era, to me, is defensive end on the defensive side of the ball. Simply because it is so daggum difficult. With the way footballs come out faster and receivers run routes, you gotta find some dudes that can get to the quarterback. So, right now, you look at this class. Obviously, Mason Smith is a huge domino as a run-stuffing defensive tackle. Well, the truth is, he can also get after the quarterback. Stopping the run? Not as important as it was 10 years ago. Getting to the quarterback and blocking passing lanes, that's very important now. So because the game has changed, LSU is going to find as many athletic defensive linemen as possible that can get after the quarterback. If not, Bryce Young's going to light you up. Bo Nix, whoever Texas A&M's going to throw out there after Kellen Mond. You got to have guys that can get home. So that means we've got to get Korey Foreman. Now, Korey Foreman would be huge, don't get me wrong. I've shown you what top 5 national players have done at LSU, and all of them have been beyond phenomenal. Derek Stingley Jr., Leonard Fournette, Lyle Collins, and now Eric Gilbert. So, yeah, it would be a huge pickup for LSU, but it's not a must get. LSU's already done pretty well. This would be icing on top. Here's another good thing about recruiting tons of defensive ends and defensive linemen and outside linebacker types is because those are often some of your best athletes on your team. Ultimately, you look at a Rajon Davis, you look at some of these other kids, they're true sideline-to-sideline players. So, on the defensive line, a lot of these defensive ends are built very similarly. Savion Jones is part of your older school, LeVar Edwards, thicker defensive ends out of Louisiana. You look at his size, I mean, I could easily see LSU moving him inside. So, can Landon Jackson, Keanu Kolt, Naquon Brown, or potentially Zavier Carter get to the quarterback? I don't know. But the fact that you have 4 of those guys, along with Ojulari and Webb, out of those 6 guys, you just need 2 of them. Just 2 to be good pass rushers. That's it. If you can find that, you are set for the next 2 years. So that's why LSU is doing what they're doing now, because especially now that you're running a 4-3 and you don't have Dave Aranda calling up these exotic blitzes to create pressure, you just need guys that in your base defense can get to the quarterback. So I love what LSU's done in this class. Obviously, getting Foreman would be a huge deal, but to me, it's not so make or break. All 6 of them have more than enough talent to be that guy. One more thing about that position, okay? It could play the other side of the football. You look, we did an episode on this, OL equals DL. I don't have the number on top of my head. LSU next year is going to have 3 former defensive tackles playing along the offensive line. Dare Rosenthal, Evans, and Chasen Hines. Rosenthal and Hines are slated to be starters. You can flip a lot of these guys to play the other side of the football. It's easier to have a defensive line flip and play offensive line than vice versa. Because oftentimes defensive linemen, when you factor in speed, strength, and agility, they're oftentimes some of the best athletes on the team. I was actually watching some footage the other day. Landon Jackson, this kid is ridiculous. Not just at defensive end, I mean tight end. I mean, this kid has some serious wiggle with the football in his hands. So, who's to say he can't do that at the next level? So, LSU slots still left in this class, but as you can tell, this is more of a general view. The future of football. Can you throw the football? And can you, on the opposite side of the football, get to the quarterback? Boom! Ba, ba, ba. Let me know if you want more recruiting content. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about recruiting. I'm a little weird when it comes to this stuff because sometimes the way 247 or Rivals evaluates these guys is a little bit different than how I see it. There's one guy in the 2021 class who I think is so severely underrated that LSU currently has committed. So if you want me to do a video on him, let me know in the comments section below. Oh my goodness, we got to do subscriber shout out. Hurry, subscriber shout out. Okay, we're currently at 381, y'all. We're approaching 400, which means we're approaching our first live show. Let's go. I just love this name, Bubba Gins. That is as Louisiana as it gets. What's up, Bubba? He said, Pelini's Rock, you'll need to wait and watch. The question is, do they have enough time to get the scheme going? So, yeah, this is a really good comment because this goes along with what we've been saying. LSU starting off the year with the best first 3-game schedule in the SEC really pays off here. I mean, Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Mississippi State, that just sets up so nicely for LSU to learn the scheme. I mean, you get Mike Leach in week one. Mike Leach in week one. His offense is very complex. Mississippi State's probably going to be a better team at the end of the year than at the beginning, especially with the new quarterback, even though I like what they have at running back. So I love the fact that LSU but has a very favorable start to the season because it allows him to get that scheme and the communication down pat. And then I think I've shouted him out before, but DJ, what's up, DJ? I can't wait till Bo sends a safety blitz like he used to send LaRon Landry. Woo! Landry is the best LSU blitzing, or I don't know. Jamal Adams was pretty good, and Grant Delpit. But you know what is weird? He says that Jacoby Stevens had 5 sacks last year. 5! So, yeah, I hope to see Jacoby Stevens get a lot more blitzes. Let's get this going. We're growing, y'all. Let's do it. It's Power Hour LSU. Boom, boom, boom. Gonna go pick up some chicken parm.